two, one. Your life.
Check, check, check. 1, 2. Yes, Harsh, you can start.
Hi everyone, welcome to 8th event of 11th anniversary jam of Music Club. Uh, we have four of our guitar students performing, and after that we have the guitar player, composer, and music educator Mr. Vinay Kaushal will be joining us. Uh, can we start with the first performance?
Yes, yes, yes. Hello, good morning, all.
Good
This is
morning.
Ashish, and we are going to call the first performer Ranveer Pawar. Hi, Ranveer.
Hi Ranveer.
Ranveer is having some issues, I suppose. Never mind. Let's just talk something about Muziclub and about this jamming concept. We've been celebrating our 11th anniversary. We turned 11 a couple of days back on 20th of June, and um, we started back then in 2010. The journey has been so good so far, and this concept of jam exactly started from 2011. We have offline jams throughout our three centers, and yes, now you can unmute yourself, I guess.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was talking about this concept of jam. Yeah, so we so on Sundays we used to have it on our main head branch, Vaner branch, जहाँ की principal हमारे श्रुति मैम बैठी है हमारे साथ, and Saturdays को पिंजेवाड़ी में और केसोदागर में होता था, but अभी सब चीज ऑनलाइन हो गई है, अभी तक अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स आ
Hi Ashish, we are back. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, it looks like there is a technical glitch there from Ashish's side. So I'll take over. I think Ranveer is ready, Aditya is ready, all students are ready to perform. And I would like to say this specially that these kids, we are showcasing them before the guest lecture or guest workshop or inspiration talk is because they are really hardworking, and we want to show other people and inspire other students by showcasing our talent. All the best, boys.
All the best.
So here we go to Ranveer.
Yes. My name is Ranveer, and today I'm going to perform "Sweet Child O' Mine" by Guns N' Roses. I've been in music club from 3 years, and my teacher is Conrad. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, it was superb.
Superb.
What a
Amazing.
performance. He killed it, Ranveer.
Thank
It was
you.
nice.
Thank you.
Amazing, yeah. He's so Easily he played. Oh wow.
Exactly.
And welcome
Exactly.
Vinay sir. Welcome to the event. I'm Shruti here. Harsh, you can take over.
Okay. So our next performer would be
Aditya. Aditya.
Aditya Anand. So Aditya
Aditya.
Anand is playing "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra.
Would you like to say something to your student, Harsh?
Mm, just go for it, Aditya. He knows it. All the best, Aditya.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All the best, Aditya.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, be true. In other words, I love fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I worship and adore. In other words, please be
Whoa!
Wow. Amazing. Lovely.
Wow! What a wonderful song by Frank Sinatra, and you played it amazing.
Thank you, sir.
So, so I met Aditya during the lockdown. He was in Bangalore before, and after that, like it's been almost a year almost. He's been learning at Music Club, and great job, Aditya.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good one. Good
Great.
one.
It sounded lovely.
Thank you, sir.
All right then. Moving on.
Next,
Let's have Conrad sir student Anirban. Hi Anirban.
Hi all. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. We can hear you.
Yeah, so I will be performing Angel of Mercy by Black Label Society. One second.
Okay, go for it. All the best, man.
Sure, thank you. Thank you.
Great. Lovely.
Good one.
Nice.
I love that solo. Conrad sir, do you want to say something about your student, about his performance?
About Anirban, amazing. Like he's been a guy who's like never complained about work getting in the way of his playing. In fact, he's not just working; he's studying as well. So he had his exams, and plus he's managing work. And there was never a time when he's like, I want to take a break from music. If he couldn't make it on his class day, he'll be like, can you please reschedule it during the week?
Whoa,
So
that's the
he
dedication.
didn't, yeah, that's the dedication. So, it really motivates,
Teacher, yes.
yeah, the teacher as well. So that's amazing. Good job, man. Good job. Proud of you.
Good one, Arvind. Okay, so moving on towards the last performer of the day, Ayush.
Ayush Manjrekar.
Hi, Ayush.
Hello, my name is Ayush, and I study in Muziclub for last 5 years, and today I am going to play a song named "Shallow" by Porcupine Tree.
You are not going to tell all of us who's your guitar teacher?
Yes, my guitar teacher is Harsh Pagle.
All right. All the best, sir.
Thank you. you.
Lovely.
Whoa, what a power pack performance. That was superb, yeah. Great job, Ayush.
I
I'm
have
a
shared
huge
I have shared his first annual day photo. Just see how tiny he was with everyone.
He was that small when he came to Music Club.
Yeah,
We had just started off this Pimple Sudagar branch, and this kid came up with his mom, and he was playing this song called uh,
Summer of 69.
Summer of '69.
summer of
Yes, Summer
60.
of '69. Yes.
And Harsh, we all said in annual day that the guitar is bigger than him, and how the way
Yes, yes. He was.
he was like guitarist, born guitarist.
Yeah,
So
probably.
lovely, lovely, very nice.
Oh yeah, I can see that image.
Yeah.
I remember.
So these are very special memories for us, as a teacher and as a principal for me. When children do so much hard work and they reach to that place where we really start appreciating and we get inspired from them. So I really love that feeling. I feel really overwhelmed to see children doing well.
Right, right. And this is such a masterpiece by Steven Wilson, and he has done amazing. Okay then,
Okay,
over to you, Harsh
so
sir.
we are almost just 3 minutes behind to start. Before we start, Ashish sir, why don't you introduce Music Club in
Okay,
overall?
yeah, definitely. I didn't. I mean, earlier I was supposed to, but then we had some technical issues. Never mind. So yeah, we are Music Club guys, and we are celebrating our 11th anniversary. And I guess you all are familiar with this online event, which is happening since entire June and will be continued for the next month also. We are celebrating our 11th anniversary, and performances are happening. Students are coming here, and we've been having some guest performances, workshops, master classes, and all. And today we have another great legendary guitarist of our country, Mr. Vinay Kaushal. And yeah, so Music Club back then started in 2010, and so far we have 21,000 kids. I mean, we have trained 21,000 students, which is a huge amount for us. And we are a big chunk of Music Club family with 3 current running branches. And so far we have 1100 plus active students throughout the 3 branches. And things are going so far so good. And I hope these numbers keep rising. And you should, all of you, just spread a word about Music Club. Spread this concept of jam, of this online jam, so that more people should come to know about us. More people should join. It's not necessary कि you have to be a musician. You have to be an instrumentalist. बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है. अगर आपको म्यूजिक एंजॉय करना आता है, म्यूजिक सुनना आता है, then also you can be a part of it. You're most welcome. So
Great.
keep enjoying music, living music.
Okay, so moving on, a very warm welcome, Vinay sir. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Harsh. My absolute pleasure to be here. Hi, Conrad, Ashish, Shruti ma'am, Harsh. Lovely to be doing this on a nice Sunday, sitting and listening to these youngsters play such lovely guitar. First thing in the morning, you get up and you watch somebody play a Porcupine Tree song and a Frank Sinatra song. That's a great start for the day for me. So
Right.
really happy to be here.
Thank you so much. So,
Glad to
hello
have you.
everyone. So this is our 11th annual day of Music Club, and uh, we have Mr. Vinay Kaushal, the legendary music composer, producer, guitar player, and music educator with us. So let me brief you all about him something. So he has been playing and maybe into music for last 17 years. He has done his associate art, bachelor of bachelor degree, Associate Arts from MI Musician Institutes, right in the middle of Hollywood. So recently he produced his album called Naked on a Train. I mean that it was his first debut album in 2018. And if you haven't heard that album, please go and listen to that whole album, which is available on all the streaming platforms like Amazon Music and Spotify and like everywhere. So apart from that, he is also working as a music producer. He has produced a lot of jingles. Recently, he has done some Hotstar web series, short films. His album, there was a folk fusion album called Kawa Speak, has got a international award at Bima, which was happened in Malaysia, and he also won that Radio City Freedom Award for the same album, which was Kawa Speaks. So apart from that, he is a music educator. He is teaching music. He is spreading music, uh, passing on his knowledge to all young aspirants, music individuals who are looking to looking forward to a career in music. And uh, Even I am, Vinay's student. I have been learning under Vinay for last probably 2 years, and it was a great journey so far. And apart from everything, uh, being an artist and guitar player, music producer, anything, apart from everything, he is a wonderful human being. And I mean, he is so warm that he won't let you feel uncomfortable or go away from you. He will always keep his eyes, his focus towards his students. And it's been 2 years, and I'm still learning under Vinay sir. And I'm fortunate enough to avail that during this time. Before lockdown, before COVID, we used to have one-to-one session at his studio, and we used to enjoy it most. Like that 1 hour, 1.5 hour was amazing. Post COVID, things got changed. We shifted to online, but we are still continuing the learning. And it's, uh, apart from that, he is playing, like his major likings would be uh, jazz, then blues, and then funk, like most important, right? So he has been playing with band called Vinay Kaushal Collective, and he has a lot of acts basically that he does. Vinay Kaushal Collective. Then he has Funkatrix. Then he has Empty Cafe. Empty Cafe is basically a fusion act, which is associated with one of his very close friend, Gandhar. He's a flutist, and recently he produced an album called not album, a single. I'm sorry, single called Elephant in the Room, right? So I think they produced this album at Grace Park, Pune, and I think one of our drum faculty, our co-host today, Mr. Ashish, was kind of assistant engineer to this whole project. So Ashish, would you like to say something about it?
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Vinay. Hi.
Hey, Ashish.
It was such a pleasure to meet you that day. I mean, I still remember the first day when I met you during that session of Elephant in the Room when Varun was banging drums and
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. It's an amazing session, man. I mean,
Thank
so
you.
good to see such a masterpiece done by you and Aditi and Sharik and of course Varun.
Thank you, Ashish.
Yeah.
Since everybody is here and we are talking about that day, I must tell you, Ashish, for some strange reason, was in completely formal clothes, and,
Yeah,
and I met him,
remember.
and we were just sort of setting up the drum kit, and I met him, and he was in formal clothes, tucked in shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not very sure why he was in those clothes right in the middle of a pandemic, but he was.
Yeah.
And now much later, I'm
just,
seeing you in a nice T-shirt, and I'm so happy to see you like this now because I was so confused what's going on. You don't see many.
Yeah. That was just for a change. I wanted to wear some like a proper formal clothes with tuck-in shirts.
Amazing. Harsh, thank you so much for the kind words about me, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm super excited that I'm getting a chance to sit and chit chat with you all about a couple of things that I have in mind, as well as everybody who's streaming this on YouTube. I think there are a bunch of musician kids and older musicians, and then their parents, hopefully, who I also want to talk to. I have a couple of things in mind that I would love to share with as many upcoming aspiring musicians who maybe even are thinking of trying to make this a career choice. That's always a great dream, and as somebody who's sort of been through it a little bit, I would love to share whatever I can about this journey so that people can learn from it and hopefully not make the same mistakes that I made. So thank you for having me here. It's really lovely, and congratulations on 11 years of Muziclub. It's absolutely spectacular. 11 years and so many more and counting. So yeah, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you.
Thank you so
So,
much.
as I already mentioned about his debut album, which is my personal favorite, all of the songs. If you haven't really, checked those songs yet, please go and do check out all the songs. Naked on a Train, the title song is my personal favorite.
Let me play it for you guys. I have my guitar right here. I kept it ready.
Great.
So let me play you the little title track.
Maybe this
off,
time,
right?
maybe Vinay, you can actually turn off that screen.
Yes.
The background screen.
I'm actually none. There we go.
Great.
I'm sitting against a nice white wall. Not what you saw me sitting against. Here we go. Harsh, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. We all can hear you.
There you go. That is Naked on a Train. Loosely based off the Rag Bhairav, which has been a personal favorite of mine for a long time. And if you guys haven't heard this album, please check it out and let me know how you like it and which your favorite song is. And yeah, thank you for introducing that album to the audience here, to our friends here, Harsh.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much for playing this.
Yeah,
I
my
had
pleasure.
I had a personal connect with this song. I always have a personal connect with this song. I don't know. It reminds me of my college days when I listen to this song whenever. Maybe
Nice.
it is a rag, or maybe it's a whole composition arrangements. But it has got a great groove.
Thank you, man. Glad you enjoy this.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoy this. So, Harsh, should I just take it from here? Should I just do what I have in mind and just talk about a
Yes,
couple
yes,
of
yes.
things?
Please
Is
go
that
ahead.
okay?
Please go ahead.
Lovely. Lovely.
Students
If
are
there's
eager to hear
any
you.
superb, if there's any disturbance or if anybody wants to add anything, feel free to. So yes, my name is Vinay Kaushal, and I'm so happy to be here. And before I begin, I want to just answer a couple of questions that I get asked quite a bit. Okay. Yes, I'm a musician. Yes, I'm a full-time musician. No, I don't live with my parents anymore. No, I don't have a trust fund. And I'm actually out of bed at 8 in the morning every single day. That's basically how my day starts. And I just need to get those few questions out of the way. Being a musician is not a run of the mill kind of a choice for a career, especially when you can be a doctor or a lawyer or a banker, where the odds of you earning some money are maybe conventionally saying considerably higher than a musician, right? What it is, though, is it is a career choice made from passion, and it is just as important as any other career that you can have. And I'd like to share some thoughts with you about what it means to have a non mainstream career. And not to give away any spoilers, but it can be extremely exciting and rewarding. This is such a lovely place. I wish all of this was happening in person, and I could actually see all the kids' faces and all the musicians' faces. But we're doing what we can to keep. If this is the new normal, we're currently superbly combating it. Right here we are online on a Sunday, when you could have been watching a movie. You know what I mean, on Netflix. So I'm so thankful to be here to talk and chit chat with all you guys. This is also sort of taking me back about 15, 17 years when I used to go to a guitar tutor in Pune to learn my first chords, and how exciting that time was. So it was around the seventh or eighth standard that I picked up the guitar, and let me tell you how that happened. Okay, I have an elder brother. His name is Gautam, and he did what any good elder brother should do. He introduced me to some great rock music. So in my seventh standard, I knew every Nirvana song, every Guns N' Roses song, every Black Sabbath song, Pink Floyd, Iron Maiden. I knew it all in my seventh standard. Okay, and I'm so happy that he did that. Because I feel like my whole batch in school sort of found out about this music through me. And if he wasn't there, none of us would know it for so many years after, right? So those bands were such a big part of my life that time. I knew all the lyrics, I knew all the songs, every solo, as in I could hum it out or whatever. I didn't know that, but I was so aware, I was so passionate about those songs and the amount of time I spent listening to it. It was obvious that I'll have daydreams of one day being them. None of it felt far-fetched. The daydream was that real, that hey, I want to be a Pink Floyd one day, right? I want to be Slash one day. Maybe I won't wear the hat, it might not suit me, but I want to be that big a musician, right? So here's how it all happened. Five of us best friends in school got together, and we said, hey, you know what, I think we should form a band, and become world famous. That's the plan now. Okay, we're eighth standard kids, man. So we're like, yeah, band perform abhi karna hai, and we need to be pretty famous soon. So the first most important decision was, what should we call the band? Right, first thing, most important thing. What should we call the band? I don't remember what we ended up calling it, but I remember considering stupid things like rubber band and these kind of stupid names where the word band comes in or whatever. You know how you are when you're in your eighth standard. I'm hoping today's eighth standard kids are a lot smarter than what I was in my eighth standard, because I was not very smart. So we decided on a band name. Next most important decision is, so we're already a band, okay, whatever. Let's call ourselves the Rubber Bands right now. So we're the Rubber Bands, and the second decision was, what instrument? Who plays what instrument? Right? I had a guitar lying around at home, so I said, "Hey, my brother has a guitar, so I'll be the guitarist." And then somebody said, "I think I have a Casio at home. I'll be the keys player." And one guy was like, "I've always wanted. I like banging things around, so I'll be the drummer." One guy said, "Well, most bands have two guitarists, so I'll be the rhythm guitar player," etc., etc. One of our friends was not as creative as the rest of us, so he couldn't even think of an instrument. So he said, "You know what? I'll just sing instead. I'll be the singer." So there he was. He was the singer, and we were like a five-piece band. But this band was serious. Okay, we were going to make it big. We knew that we had to learn our instruments to get famous. So we joined up with a tutor who taught a bunch of instruments, much like what Muziclub does. And we started learning and practicing in earnest. We were so addicted to it that, in school, typically, at least when I was in school, multiplexes had just about started. The E Square was the first multiplex in Pune. Okay, that time when I was in my 8th standard. And after an exam and all, it was common to see the whole school watching a film in the afternoon right after the exam. Except we never saw it because we were busy at a jam room playing for hours on end. We were so addicted to it. Ki exam khatam ho gaya, abhi jaake we'll just jam. God knows what we even played, but we just sat and played for many, 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 many hours. And we got pretty good, I think. We played Sweet Child of Mine and the final countdown at 3 of our annual days. And so we had decided that we were going to become famous, but it doesn't always work out like that, right? Life is not as easy as a kid thinks it is. So somewhere the band disbanded after school got over and my dreams sort of went crashing down. Another thing I can remember very clearly is that if you're in the coolest rock band around, you also have to have the look, right? So for 3 years, I had many arguments with my school teachers about needing long hair, not wanting long hair. It's a prerequisite suddenly, and being given detention all the time for how much I back answered, because I was like, how is my teacher just not understanding me? I'm playing the guitar. I have a band. We're called whatever we're called, and I need long hair now, and I got detention all the time for my arguments with them. In fact, being asked to chop my hair till the 10th standard got over was so traumatic for me that since then I've never had short hair. I've always had really long hair for the last, I don't know, 15 years now. Anyway, coming back, so those years were great, and I'd love to tell you how we became famous and how we did super great things together, and we went on world tours. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. And it only lasted for 3 years, but they were definitely the most interesting 3 years of my life that got me so addicted to the fact that I want to be a musician, and made me sort of realize that, oh, this is a passion that I need to stick with, come what may. I'm the only musician left from those group of friends. Nobody plays any instrument, but that's okay. My ex-bands really like what I do, and they also seem to have bragging rights because they say, "Hey, did you know I was a part of his first band?" and stuff like that. So, and they're really lovely people. So I think it's really, really important to sort of be passionate about whatever hobby you feel like pursuing. It could be football, it could be playing the djembe, painting, statistics, sure, cooking, whatever it is. I think it's really, really important to be extremely passionate about doing what you like to do. And I would urge all the kids to focus on that feeling that you get when you truly like doing something because you like it and not because somebody's asking you to do it at all. It's just something that you feel like doing. And if you haven't found that thing yet, look around. There's always some new stuff to try, right? And I think that is what's going to be your constant companion through your life. Whether you make a career out of it or not is irrelevant. Hopefully, for most of y'all, it is music, and that's going to be your constant companion through your life. So now, life isn't like the movies, right? You can't just throw a fit at home and then move into a big city and say, I'll be a superstar, and overnight you're not becoming a superstar, right? When you choose an offbeat profession like music, there are a lot of things that you need to consider and people you should involve in your decision making. There will be plenty of times when you'll be very, very happy and relieved that you have a support system. For me, my support system was my parents, and I would like to tell you how. After school, I did my undergrad. What is level 12 standard? And then I did my undergrad. I was pursuing BBA, which is Bachelor's of Business Administration at Symbiosis. In my second year, I went to watch a concert that one of my friends was playing. His name is Brigu Sani, and he's a very, very fine musician. And that time he was studying at the Berklee College of Music. And he had come down for his winter break or whatever it is, spring break. And he was performing at our Shisha Cafe, which I'm sure many of y'all frequent all the time, right? Or used to till about a year ago, till our lives were turned upside down. And they're still holding us by the legs, unfortunately. But anyway, coming back. So I went to watch my friend play. And that concert completely blew my mind away. Okay. I was already good at what I do. I could play a couple of, styles of music. I was performing around the city, playing some covers, all of that. And then got to see this guy who studied at a music school for 2 years. And like my whole perception of what a good music performer is completely changed. I was awestruck at how incredible him and his band, all of them, how incredible they sounded. And it was very, very inspiring. So I came home very late that night, and I had made up my mind. So at 1 that night, I sat and I wrote my parents a long 5-page letter, quite senti also, if I may say so. And I told them that, you know what, I think I found my calling, and I would like to give up my education, and I would like to pursue music full time. Because I need to spend a lot of time if I want to be as good as I need to be to make a career out of it. So I need that time, and BBA is not my what economics is. So why don't I drop it halfway through, and I would like to pursue music. And obviously you can't play for 12 hours a day. So I will also spend some time with my father learning the family business, a couple of hours a day, because otherwise your fingers will fall off, right? If you literally only play guitar for those many hours. And so I wrote them this letter, and I kept it on the dining table, and I went off to sleep. Next morning I got up, and I was still sort of stuck in that, how incredible that show was, the gig was. And then suddenly my eyes popped wide open, and I said, uh-oh, what did I do last night? I wrote a letter and I left it saying that I need to quit my education and I want to be a musician, and I've put that on the dining table. So I quickly tiptoed outside. I said, I wonder how my parents are going to react to something like this, right? Oh, by the way, in the letter, I had ended by saying, if it is okay with y'all, I would like to start all of this from the very next day, from tomorrow. Like that's how clear I was that this is what I want to do. So I got up and I tiptoed outside, wondering, will there be a good bashing session? Are they not talking to me? Small hope that maybe they're okay with it. I don't know. I was so confused. So I went out. They gave me a wide grin. My mom gave me. I was very addicted to Bonvita, so my mom gave me my whole mug of overly sweet chocolate milk. And I was busy having it, wondering why is nobody reacting to what I did. I can see the letter open over there, but nobody's reacting. And then my dad sort of got up and he said, "Hey, by the way, if you were serious about what you said, I'm leaving in 15 minutes. If you want to come to the factory, jump in or figure out how you want to get there." And that was that, man. They were absolutely okay with it. They were okay with everything I said. of course, a couple of days later, we sat down and we had a bit of a discussion about how important it is to, maybe have a degree to fall back on in case my whole dream does not, for whatever reason, work out and stuff like that. And I ended up deciding to finish be at least a graduate in my studies as a backup plan to my music. But I think that's my parents were so amazing about the whole thing because what made the biggest difference to me was the fact that my parents were on board with what I wanted to do. And I wasn't doing it because they asked me to. They said, sure, you want to quit? Go ahead and quit. I got cold feet. Yeah, of course I did. I realized that, oh, for whatever reason, if I lose my hands in my life, I'll be a 12th standard pass out. Maybe I need to be a little more than that, right? But the fact that they were completely understanding my side of things and ready to let me try it out was unbelievable. And that's the kind of support system you want to hopefully have and look for. So parents, if y'all are watching, engineering banna hai, this thought process is a little dated. It's not wrong or right. It's just a little dated, and it's okay to sort of open up, right? How am I doing, by the way? How am I doing right now? I would assume that I make as much money as my friends who are lawyers and run their own business or whatever, have a job. But I'm really happy with what I do, and I don't think of it as a 9 to 5, and they do. And so I'm just putting it out there. It seemed to have worked out for me, and I think it can work out for anybody if they wanted to sort of follow it up. So yeah, support system, one of the most important things that you can have in your life. Let me tell you about one other little side thing to being a musician. You don't have a boss. There's nobody telling you what to do. You don't have a day job that you need to get to, otherwise they'll penalize the money you make. You don't have any of that. So you have to be doubly proactive. Otherwise, you're not going to go anywhere in your life, right? So get up. What do you feel like doing when you get up? Well, get up and play. I don't feel like playing today. That doesn't count. You just have to get up and play because that's what you're supposed to do. That's in a way your day job, your commitment to what you do. How does somebody go about releasing music? It's such a long process. Yeah, keep at it and get better because there is nobody who's going to tell you what to do. If I decide today that I will sit and play for the next whole month, I will play Grand Theft Auto 5 because I love the game on my Xbox. There is literally nobody here to tell me, don't do this. You're making a mistake. You're wasting your life, wasting some time in your life that might not come back to you. Nobody is telling me that because I'm my own boss, which, as it turns out, sounds all rosy and all, but it's quite the opposite. You have to be overly, sort of, you've got to push yourself a little bit all the time. Otherwise, things don't sort of fall into place. I'm sure y'all, Harsh and Ashish, I'm sure y'all have similar thoughts on this, right?
Yes,
you can sit by and do nothing, or you have to keep doing something, right?
So there is one sort of pressure which is always there. You know it very well. Like I keep discussing with you, right? So it's like,
of course, because we've decided to put ourselves on this pedestal, or we want to get there, and it's a long road. So there is a little bit of frustration sometimes coming in. There's a little bit of excitement coming in. There's some lethargy coming in. There's some, I don't know. There's so many things that are just constantly playing around in your head, right? And all you really need to do is say, just shut up and play guitar for 3 hours a day because I decided I want to do that. Right? That's finally what it all comes down to. But it's such an interesting battle in your head all the time, right? Because nobody else is going to tell you to do that.
So true.
Right. Now, by the way, it also comes down to musicians having every musician is a DIY musician, right? There's no I've released one album and 3 singles on my own name. That's 9 releases, 9 songs released in the last 2 years. And I've obviously produced some music for many other musicians. There's no record label, right? So finishing the song, so composing the song, writing the song, finishing the song is like, seems like only 50% of the trouble, and then starts the real real ball game. But anyway, let's not get into that. But that's how proactive you need to be if you take any offbeat career, I think. And I think that applies to any arts that you decide to make your profession. I think a painter goes through exactly this. I think a visual artist goes through exactly this. Digital artist, I don't know. There's so many different things. Everybody's going through exactly this, and how much you can channel your mind and find that inspiration. I think that's the key to it all. Don't y'all agree?
Yeah.
Yes, we all agree on that.
Everything seems like so motivating and inspiring.
Let me
true, whatever you
let me tell you another little motivating story before which I will play out some guitar because I'm going to get you all into the mood for this story. Okay, I'm just going to play out some blues.
Yeah.
Okay, so this little story I have is something that is right out of my music school. Right, I went to music school in 2011-12. I'm really attempting to play and tell you all the story. I'm not sure I can do it. That was another part of the plan. So, but I'm gonna still try. Okay? So I came back and I was staying in Bombay. And what does a musician living in Bombay do? He takes each and every gig that comes his way. I'm sure that all the parents here know the rents in Bombay, right? So I was doing exactly that. I was there in 2013 and 14, and I was trying to do as many shows as I can. I was also really into this style of music called the blues because there's so much John in that style of music, right? There's so much feeling in it. So anyway, I got a call for a very peculiar gig. I just remembered I was supposed to play also. Yes. I got a call for a very peculiar gig. Okay, there was this really famous blues singer coming down from the United States of America, and she was going to be backed by the incredible local musicians in Bombay, and that was a show in a nice auditorium, a concert hall, right? I was also asked to play, except not on stage. I was asked to perform in the foyer outside before the show starts and during the intermission. And it was a paid gig. And of course I said, definitely, because it's a blues artist playing, there'll be a great audience there. Uh, you know, tickets sold out in like half an hour after announcement, that kind of a thing, you know. So I said, of course I'll do it. So here's Vinay, 8 years back, right out of music school, suited up, wearing a nice corduroy suit, making sure I'm looking. You know how these guys look, right? You know how these blues and jazz musicians look, right? You got to look your part. You can't just play your part. You got to look it as well. It's so important. Like our friend Ashish here, who I met at Grace Park, and so I'm, you know what I'm saying. This is very new for me to be watching Ashish chilling on a Sunday here, because anyway, sorry, Ashish, didn't mean to, didn't mean to. So I was suited up, and I was playing my heart out. I'm playing solo electric guitar blues music, improvised blues music, and I'm playing my heart out in one corner, right? Whereas all the who's who of the city, all the big shots, the money people, the good musicians, enthusiasts, all of them are on the other side, chatting over a cup of coffee. I felt quite humiliated. Okay. I felt pretty humiliated because, well, they were doing their thing. They were catching up with their friends before the show started. This went on for about 40 minutes. Okay. My morale is dropping with every minute. I'm feeling quite hurt. And when the doors of the concert hall opened, the auditorium, and everybody ran in to grab the seat that they had for the show that they had paid to watch, right? And I was still there. I was still outside. I didn't go in, and I was feeling quite low, and I was wondering how I would do this again in the break for another half an hour, you know. And I was wondering what it would do to me to go through what I just did again. I was actually quite close to tears, to be honest, because I hadn't experienced this kind of, you know, people not caring about what I'm doing. I had never experienced it so strongly. Anyway, so I had a whole hour to think about all this and just keep drowning in my own misery, right? And because the show's going on, and then suddenly the bell rang, and then there was an intermission, which was my second set. So I put my head down and I said, okay, well, you've already agreed to do this, so you have to do this. And I started playing again. I assumed that nobody liked what I was doing. That was the basic assumption. And as it turns out, I've never, ever been so wrong in my life. There were at least 100 people taking videos and photos of what I was doing. Most people didn't let me play because they wanted to talk to me to know who I was. I gave out so many business cards that day. Right at there, where I'm supposed to be playing, I can see the organizer looking at me, but somebody's coming to my face and talking to me. What do you say? What you have to respond? You know what I mean? And it turned out to be quite an incredible half an hour for me, because suddenly everybody who was there was like, it was a mini concert outside instead of inside. There was an old lady who went to the extent of saying, you know, you should be on that stage in there instead of those guys. I haven't received that incredible a compliment from somebody I don't know since then. In fact, just saying, you know, it was and it was so interesting to realize that people, like, your perception of what you do and people's can be so interestingly different, and that it can be so rewarding when you least expect it. You know, it's like, amongst, maybe I've done 1,000 shows in my life, it was definitely the one I'll never forget, where you were like ready to tear your hair out because of what you're doing, and suddenly you realize, oh my God, this auditorium fills 1,000 people, and all 1,000 are outside, but they're actually they came out to listen to me, not to grab their coffee and chit chat about what was going on inside. They, for whatever reason, thought that they should come out and listen to what I was doing, when there's an internationally acclaimed musician performing as well. So it was absolutely lovely. It was so inspiring for me to just sort of keep on at what I'm doing. It was so important for me to experience that. And I've never given up on my blues music since then, because I feel like somewhere when you feel it, the audience felt it, right? Obviously. So I don't wear smart clothes all the time when I'm playing it, but I wouldn't. I've never stopped playing that music after that, because it's become so much more dear to me after that. So just thought something that I should sort of share with you guys as a fun thing that happen,
Great.
and that can happen with anybody, literally anybody. There's a saying. Sorry, Ashish. Sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead, please.
No, I just remembered that there's a saying that says, if you love, I don't know who said this quote, but there's a quote that says that if you do something you love, you'll never work another day in your life, right? And let me tell you, I think it's complete nonsense. I think it needs to be rephrased. If you do something that you're passionate about, you'll probably work harder than you ever have, but you'll probably enjoy every single moment of it. And that's I think the truth of that's the non-rosy way of putting that quote across, which I think is really important for anybody even aspiring to be a musician or an artist or do whatever they're doing. I think it's super important for them to understand this, that there are always going to be ups and downs in something that you do, and ups and downs. Let me tell you all about this. So I had a chance to do a TEDx talk maybe like a year and a half or two ago, and so that was like a reality check moment for me. Oh, by the way, that's all. I don't know how this is happening. That's a single I released last year in November. Please check it out. It's called Reality Check.
Reality Check.
Features a beautiful musician singer called Siddharth Basrur, who's a very popular singer as well. Anyway, so the TED Talk was a bit of a reality check for me, because suddenly I'm used to sitting and playing guitar on stage all the time, but now I have to talk about it. I have to talk about things. So I was like, what do I have that can be so interesting? I know how to keep people interested when I'm playing the guitar, but now I have to talk about it. So I started thinking about all these things that I could talk about, right? And I realized that there are so many parallels between what I've learned in music, like lessons in music and lessons in life. And almost everything is like two parallels going on. I'd like to share two of these. I'm assuming we have some time, right? We have a little bit of time.
We have a lot of time.
Okay, so let me just share two of these things, because I think that it might resonate strongly with everybody who's here and everybody who's watching. So this was the title that I thought was apt, was the ups and downs. The ups in life are ups because there are also the downs, right? Which is literally what it is. You will never feel happy. Happened to me at that blues gig, right? I was so sad, and then my level of happiness in the second half of my show was like, I don't think there's any measure for that happiness. But that was also to do with because of what I felt earlier, right? That was a big part of it. So in music, this is shown with a concept of consonance and dissonance. How consonance means stuff that you like to, stuff that's sort of like pleasing to the ears, right? Could be this. Everything sounds great, right? This is all consonant stuff. All the fun stuff, all the uplifting stuff is consonance. And dissonance is, well, exactly the opposite. Stuff that will make you feel uneasy, and stuff that will, stuff that you hear in horror films. So like. This is all very dissonant stuff. Now check it out. Any piece of music will always have cannot have any one. There will always be a little bit of both these things in it, because without one, you can't truly, you can't highlight the other thing without having one. So it could be something very small. For example, if I wanted to make you all feel happy right now, I would start with something that's maybe not so happy. So then when I play out something happy, you'll realize that it was happy. Now suddenly you'll feel happy. For example, I don't know, just right? You see what I'm saying? Where it started
Yes.
and where it ended was two different things, but to show the contrast, you have to sort of have both. This was a slightly more direct example than in a song concept. But if you listen to music from that perspective, you will see all these things happening in music all the time, and it is a direct parallel to what life is, right? It's just ups and downs. I think we're all going through a lot of downs right now, right? Uh, which means there are some ups right around the way. It's right around the way. Can you guys hear me all right? I feel like somebody's internet is a little. Y'all can hear me? Just show me like a thumbs up.
Yes, Vinay, very much, and I'm so much enjoying this. Enjoying. Very nice.
Can you guys hear me? Are y'all here?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check my internet to make sure that it's not from my end, but I just dropped out for a second. I had one more little thing to share with y'all, which I think y'all will really enjoy, which is how important it is. Silence silence is golden. I'm sure everybody's sort of heard this saying, right?
Yeah.
That silence is golden. Which means, what does that mean? That means that it is so important in your life to take a break, just pause, look back and reflect on stuff, right? Like instead of just constantly being at something, relax, take a deep breath. It's all that yoga stuff that now everybody hears of all the time. The same thing applies in music. Music is basically made up of, well, I would say three elements. One is melody, the second is rhythm, and the third is silence. Now, silence is not something that I think means like a break in the song. Here, verse khatam ho gaya, fang, and then we sure, it can also mean that, but I think silence means those small little pauses that are a part of all music. Something that musicians might know as phrasing. How you phrase something. I'm going to play all one small little piece of music. Just check it out. Don't say anything. If y'all recognize it, good for y'all. If y'all don't, it's okay. Harsh, is my internet okay?
Yeah. It's fine. It's going good.
Yes,
By the way, before you play, let's do one thing.
Yeah.
Why, we can ask four of our performers to guess this tune that you're playing without silence. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Hi,
Here we go.
Ranveer, Aditya, Ayush, and Anirban. Could you please have a listen to this tune and
check it out. I'm playing you all something. If y'all know it, please tell me what it is. And if y'all don't, that's fine. what this is?
I know, but let's students speak.
That's why. That's why. Yeah, Ranveer, Ayush,
Ranveer,
Aditya. Can you guess
unmute
this?
Not
button.
sure.
Not
I
sure. No
think I
worries. No,
I think
no.
I've heard of it. I'm not sure though.
Okay, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and play it to you again. And now I'm just going to phrase it correctly. I'm going to put certain tiny little pauses where they belong and check it out.
I got it.
Of course you did. One of the most iconic tunes, right? Pink
Pink
Panther.
Panther theme,
There
right,
you
sir?
go. There you go. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. You're absolutely right. So this is one of the simplest examples of how taking a pause, silence is probably the most important thing in our lives and in music. Who would have thought, right? Which means if you wanted to take that long holiday, please do it. You didn't hear it from me, but please do it. Lovely. Harsh.
Okay, yeah, hi.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
thank you so much, Vinay, for this great inspirational talk. I'm sure
My pleasure completely.
it was very fruitful for all of us. Okay, we have a couple of questions
Yeah,
that we
sure.
would like to ask you.
Sure.
Firstly, uh, which role do you enjoy the most? As a guitar player, as a composer, as a producer, or as a music educator?
That's a tricky one because I think all of them do very specific and they what's the term for it? They have very specific emotional attachment to each of these. But if I had to pick, I think it would just be guitar playing. I think it all starts with that. It started with that some 15, 17 years ago. And it is still that, even if the other stuff work-wise can sometimes, be more or less than the other. Yeah, I think I'd go with guitar playing.
Guitar playing. Yes, great. And now, how you see currently the situation outside? How do you think this music scene will come up post COVID?
Well, I think let me answer that in like a two-part thing. First of all, I think forget what's happening with us right now. As a musician, I think it is very important to have a specific number of skill sets at your disposal. You cannot just be one thing. For example, if you're a guitar player, you can't only be playing rock music. Your biggest gig could be a pop gig, right? Or like a blues gig or a jazz gig or whatever. So you have to branch out and you have to be quite well versed with everything that's going on, because all of it sort of amalgamates into who you are. It's not like any one thing is. I mean, it'd be great if you could do it, but I don't think it works like that in today's world, is what I'm saying. So similarly, that was like if you're a guitar player only. If you're generally a musician, which means guitar players, other people, whatever, you have to sort of. I found it very beneficial to do a couple of things side by side, which is learn a little bit of recording, understand how songs are written, all these things that are a different skill set, right? So what happens is that if you do choose to become a full-time musician, by then you're hopefully good at a couple of these things. It's not just one thing. I play Summer of 69 as well as Bryan Adams did. Okay, but then what? That's what happens. But if somebody says, oh, okay, well, I wrote these lyrics, can you help me sing this? Hopefully you should have that skill set, right? Because you never know what new avenue that could open for you, keeping aside the sheer enjoyment of the whole thing, right? So it is very important for a musician to sort of understand what the business of music entails. Now, coming to right now, I think way too many businesses are hit with what's happening, right? Music is a small part of it. I don't think entertainment by itself can ever lose its importance because finally that's what music is, right? For most people, it's entertainment. You can never lose that importance. How you spend this time, which is the downtime, is up to you. So either
So
you can
maybe
spend, either you can
upgrade.
spend it. Yeah, you upgrade what you do. You upgrade yourself. You better yourself. So when maybe I personally don't think shows might start properly. One-off shows are starting and band hota hai, but everything won't come back to normal maybe for another whole year. Can I 1 year later be twice the guitar player I am right now? Is the key. Can I write more songs or whatever your calling in music is? Can I focus on that in this time? Because when next will you get this time? I don't think anybody's got, I mean, sure, we can crib about it, but nobody's ever got this time to do nothing for months on end. The
True.
next time you get this might be when you're 50 years old and you've probably lost lost the steam to do all this. So I think that's what's important to focus on here, not where is the industry going to. The industry is going to come back to what it was. Maybe it will be better, a little worse. Who cares? If I'm better, I will score better. Is a way simpler way of looking at it.
True.
Hopefully that
Great.
answered the question. Yeah.
Thank you. So my next question is like, how much is formal education important for someone to do career in music?
Again, extremely important. Now, formal education does not mean going to a music school only. It basically means finding the right set of mentors for you. Now, if you can get them here, good for you. If you can't, you can't. It's okay. And maybe if your parents can afford it, or you can earn your money and go to a music school, full. I think that's my favorite year of my life is when I was in LA because of how incredible that experience was. It is whether or not you go to a music school or this or that, formal education is extremely important. Again, for what I just said, because in today's world, you have to have, you can't be a jack of all and a master of none or whatever. You have to be a master of all because that's how many people are doing all this. So where else, how are you going to spend years and years figuring it out on your own? Or are you going to let your teachers tell you, hey, listen, please do this and you'll get better. Just follow my advice and you'll be thankful one day. It's as simple as that. Super important. I would think most important thing is getting the right education.
Would you like to share any experience of yours at when you were at MI? Maybe an incident of a teacher, student,
Well,
maybe a
sure.
practice
Okay.
sessions.
Yeah. Well, so music school in a nutshell was this. You have about 5 to 6 hours of lessons every day. And then you go back home and you're expected to grasp all of that and figure it out because the next day will be the next step from what you just learned. So it's like the most involved process that I've ever been sort of put to, and I think my main chunk of learning happened after I came back and I locked myself in a room and just decided
Yeah,
to
I remember
practice
this. I
all
remember
that.
this.
Yeah, all that material because it's it's like having a whole encyclopedia of knowledge, but the RAM of your brain is only slow, no, so you can't process it all. So if somebody, played a C major chord and said, "Hi, Vinay, would you like to play a night? Didn't you go to MI or whatever? Why don't you play me a great solo on this?" And I'm like, okay. So there are these 10 techniques I can think of right now. By the time you do all this, the guy has got one left also, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's how slow the process was, and like your brain has to be a lot sharper. Anyway, coming back to MI, I'll tell you a fun thing that I really liked about what happened there. One of my teachers, halfway through, who's currently the dean of MI, Stig Matheson, one of the finest players you can in the world by far. He, so you could go at any time of the day or night to college and practice in practice cubicles, small rooms that have a couple of great amps. Similarly, there are drum rooms. There are millions of rooms in the school. So I was busy sitting and playing, practicing, trying to understand some stuff and all, and just sort of just going for it. And the door was sort of behind me, so I heard it open. So I looked back, and it was my professor. Wow, I'm so sorry for that. And it was my professor, and he opened it saying, "Vinay, how are you doing?" So I said, "Were you spying on me? How did you know I was in this room?" So he said, "Oh, you sound just like I know how you sound. You have a stronger Eastern accent to your playing, Indian accent to your playing than your talking has." That's how he knew it was me, because I was playing and he was walking by and he said, "Oh, this sounds Indian enough to be, the guitar sounds Indian enough to be."
This is this was definitely coming from your mom, being
Yes.
she was a sitar player, and you have
Correct.
grown up.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always had very strong musical influences from the Indian side of things, because I've just grown up listening to all that stuff thanks to my mother, and there's always or she's dragged me to concerts where when I was younger, by the time the alap got over, I was snoring, and I was like, and that happened, and then slowly as I've grown older, I've started understanding how intense it is what they do. But yeah, I've always had a lot of Indian classical Hindustani music around me. And maybe that's where it comes from. And that's where a tune like Naked on a Train also comes from, in a way, how to jazzify those set of notes in a way.
True. So, like, I have a experience of meeting Vinay for the first time. Like, I was just passed out from my college, and I used to come to Muziclub Baner all the way from Ahmednagar to to Pune, just to see their live jams on Sunday. It was a huge thing for me coming from the small town, and again, I actually happened to go to rural uh, engineering college, so that was in the rural area. So everything was remotely available. uh, when I came in Pune for the first time, I had recently picked up a guitar, maybe a year back or 2 years back. I met Luxor over there, Shruti ma'am, and later on, I was trying to get in music club somehow, like to to get associated with music club or get associated with music somehow, so that I would have some reason to quit my engineering job and background and everything, because I wanted to rub that off, like as early as possible that time. So I was eagerly looking for some opportunities. So I got an opportunity to go at Furtados once, and they were hiring a teachers. This was before Music Club, or maybe during the same time, in 2012, 13, I guess, not sure. And I was playing guitar for like just 1 and 2 years probably, and I was not aware about anything. I just picked up guitar on from YouTube and from the internet of my college, where I used to get free Wi-Fi and all this stuff. So I went to Furtados for an interview, and I met Vinay over there. He was the one who was taking my interview, and he could not recognize me later on when I met him for the as a student, because I was not born at that time. I had enough hair on my my head, but anyway. Uh, so he asked me a couple of questions, and then he asked me to, dude, I'm going to play C major scale. Play something on that, improvise. So he used that word improvise. I was not much aware about the term that time. So I asked him, improvise, okay. And he kept playing C major chord, or maybe some sort of progression for a long time. And I was just looking at him. I could not play anything. I could not play anything. So, and after that, he said, okay, we'll get back to you. And we never met. We never met for straight 6, 7 years. And after that, I met him uh, through one of our teacher, Aditya Bhardwaj. So he referred me to Vinay, and then I went to him. to learn and take formal education in music. And since then, everything got changed.
Wow, feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, great. So I wanted to ask one more important question. Like,
Sure.
uh, how, like, what are your influences? And we know about the Western music a lot, but like, what you take from Hindi music or maybe Indian classical music?
Sure.
Who are the
Well,
artists that you listen to?
so I'm not very into film music. Uh, I'm not averse to it, but I've just not found something that I'm overly passionate about in film music, in Bollywood film music. Uh, in terms of classical music, Hindustani classical, even Carnatic music, I think because the format is so based on um, uh, it's not a song format, right? It's a it's a rag format, and then how everybody experiences and portrays that rag, for example. So I think how I've always liked to do it is pick a rag if I like it, and then see how many recordings you can find on it. And then and suddenly you'll find uh, some maybe Sujat Khanji on plays a great version of it, or maybe Hari Prasad Chaurasia ji plays a great version of that rag and stuff like that. So I think I've heard all the greats for sure. Maybe some more because of my mother, who would have been more aware of these musicians than uh, other people, since she's a classically trained musician. So yeah, big influence coming from there. Uh, One notable thing that I would like to say here is there's a guitar player, very popular guitar player down south called Prasanna, who plays Carnatic style guitar. Uh, I heard his album, I think maybe 10 years back, 9 years back, whatever, somewhere there, called Be the Change, which has some of the most incredible musicians in the world, like Victor Wooten on bass and some amazing musicians on it. And it's like a great fusion album, like a real beautiful fusion between Carnatic styling and jazz and rock contexts. Um, and I think that album really sort of changed a lot in my life. I remember, I think I've heard that album a million times that time. I still thoroughly enjoy listening to it. But yeah, so that's another one that I would like to. If somebody wants to check out that album, it will change their life because it's called Be the Change. So obviously, it's bound to change their life, right? Prasanna. You should try that out.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I think we have some more questions on our YouTube streaming.
Yeah,
Shruti
sure.
ma'am, do we have questions?
Yeah, I mean, whatever questions they asked, all answered by Vinay,
Oh
definitely.
dear.
Oh,
I've been known to talk too much. I didn't know I've been talking that much.
No, Vinay, but it was so heartening to know your journey, and you answered that musician has to have patience.
Yeah.
Musician has to grab any opportunity come in front of them. They have to listen to all types of music. They have to go and do research on other music which they don't like or they are not related to. So there are so many things you answered, and they must have got their answers. But
Wow. I'm
yeah,
glad.
I mean, it's really nice to know you. I never knew you personally
Yes.
before that. It's just the musician, and wow, what an album, what a song, and what a collaboration. Something like that. We always meet on Facebook, and we just like it
Yes.
and finish the job. But this is really nice, and I'm so happy that we got you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shruti ma'am.
And
That's very nice to hear.
yeah, there is one question I would like to know from you. I face that situation every now and then because
Sure.
we are running this institute from 11 years, and
Yeah.
we have so many students learning from 5 to 6 years now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can see they are passionate about music, and maybe they are not lucky enough to have parents. Like even I had a parent who was musician, you had a parent musician,
Yeah.
and parents don't have a clue what is next.
Yeah.
Okay, he's learning from Muziclub. He's giving Trinity or our Royal School of Music examination.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then what is next? So like they also have this question like that they need to do engineering or doctor or some kind of education there, and then get into the music, or what are the avenues to get into music where they will earn also. That is
Yes,
another
yes,
concern.
yes.
So what would you say in that perspective?
So one thought that comes to mind, which I've sort of discussed with many students of mine who want to have a day job of or whatever, but are extremely passionate about wanting to take the next step in music. Right? They're not content with just playing. They want to do something, but maybe because of their background or how their parents' thought process or whatever, they have to have taken a day job, right? What I try and tell them is that unfortunately there's no easy way out or an easy answer to this question. So why don't you, once you're any musician, I think knows by now that, oh, I can earn money from gigs, and then if I'm good enough, I might be called to a studio to record for somebody. Those would be the first two three things that I think most musicians are at an age where they're trying to make these decisions are aware of, right? So what I tell my whoever asks me this is that why don't you try to do both side by side, even though it's a big challenge.
Yeah.
But one, like, do it as well as you can, so that one day you realize that, hey, this month I made almost as much money from music as I did from my job. And the day you get there, let the job go. So since there is no easy way, if your father expects you to bring home 50,000 bucks a month, and if you can bring it from anything related to music, he's not going to care then, right? Because his, like, parents have set a benchmark that they think you should earn, so earn it. And I think there are enough avenues, as long as you're good, though.
Yeah.
That prerequisite is not going anywhere. You have to be amongst the best around if you want to make a good living, and anybody can be that, because that's just your muscle memory. That's just you spending time doing this. Hey, let me not go out and while away time, let me sit and practice. That's all it takes to get good, right?
Like self-motivation.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, because I feel like many people have this rosy idea of musician dream, but it's not that rosy. Nobody discusses how you might be a full-time musician, so you're doing all the gigs you can, so you've flown to a city and you've finished your show and it's 1 at night, but you don't sleep because you have a flight at 2:30 in the morning to another place where there's a morning sound check. So by the end of it, you haven't slept for 48 hours.
And forget about sleeping. I call them as Parle-G stories. When you don't have money to eat, when you don't have
Yes,
place to sleep.
absolutely. So it's not easy, but as long as you're good, it's only a matter of time. So why not use that as a benchmark to take that step, instead of quit your job and then realize, oh, what have I done? Because in any art-based this thing, I don't think you will in any art-based profession, I don't think it's like, oh, I went through the same thing, I passed out from MI, I'm like, wow, one of the nicest music schools in the world. That doesn't mean anything. That's just me bettering my art. I'm still doing everything any other musician has to do. Look for gigs, get better, find more avenues for earning music. Nothing changed other than the fact that I got a lot to learn from. That's it. It's not a degree like doctor ho gaya, abhi job milega. It's not that, unfortunately. So
Maybe
it is a slow one.
Yeah, maybe that MI degree can get you to the better place, but then you have to prove by playing.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. So sure. It helps that people think that, wow, okay, he's invested. So, it's bound to help, but that's not all for sure, because if you still sound bad, you sound bad, there's not, then what? You won't get called again.
Your talent and your hard work only proves you that how
Only.
good you are.
Absolutely.
That's
Exactly.
By the way,
it won't matter. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can also talk about you endorsing Fender musical instruments and Ernie ball strings since 2015. So,
Yeah, sure. Well, I've always been a Fender kind of guy. I've always enjoyed Fender instruments. I also always played Ernie ball strings, because they like why I got into it was because they had some really funny names to their strings, so which I'm not going to say them out loud right now in case there are some youngsters around, but they have some funny names and some like quirky names and all of that, and I really enjoyed those strings. And luckily for me, both these brands were sort of, I don't know, they maybe keep an eye on what people do, and they were I think they like what I do, and because I genuinely like these products, I always told people about it, right? Like I like to flaunt my Fender guitars basically. So or the only one I had that time, my Strat, and they've been really nice. I've been associated with both of them since about 5 years, and they make sure that uh, if I really need something, they'll sort it out for me. So it's really nice to have a big sort of establishment behind you in a way, and a brand that
I
you
think
really like.
it gives you motivation, and then
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, yes.
What are the next albums that we are hearing? Going to listen.
Well, I'm working on a 6-song album, which will be my second album because I just released a few singles, and now I want to do it the album way again. And it's largely an acoustic album, and it's quite low key and stripped down. I don't think anybody's heard me play any of that music before,
Like
and
sort of more towards commercial.
not at all. No, I
Not at
wish
all.
it was. Not at all.
Yeah.
No, it's the other
Unfortunately,
way around, he's saying.
it's the other way around. Yeah,
Other way around. Okay.
it's just what comes completely naturally from the heart. Because for music that I put out as me, I would not want to think about if it sells and stuff like that, right? You create art for what you do, and if you like it, you like it. It's as simple as that. Looking back at so many great bands and musical history that not only became like platinum hits, but they were the trendsetters for everything that followed. For example, Pink Floyd, psychedelic rock was never a thing till they came. And I mean, now that stuff has leaked into electronic music also, because somewhere in the 60s, Sid Barrett sat down and said, hey, you know what? I think this is good, whether or not the world cares. Anyway, so my albums are always like what's dearest to me, and that's all I somehow seem to care about, as of now at least. And so there are about 5, 6 songs, 6 songs on it, and 3 of them are instrumental and 3 of them are vocal. Yeah, and I hope by the end of the year to have it out, if not sooner. So I'm working on it right now, and I'm super excited.
Great.
Nice. We are also waiting. I love your all songs and collaboration.
Thank you so
Kandahar
much.
and Shivangi, and any song you do, I really love it.
Thank you so much. That is so
We
nice to
have
hear.
one of our senior faculty here, Conrad sir. Conrad sir, hi. I'm there. Yeah. You have something
What's
on your
up?
mind? Yeah. Hi. So you have any questions for Vinay sir?
Nothing as such. Like
Most
everything
of
was
them are
like very,
covered. Most of
very
them.
exactly, very well explained. I think one thing that everyone should learn is, having the talent is fine, but also putting yourself out there in situations where, you could fail. That is very, very important.
True.
Fail is, yeah. And which Vinay has like explained really, really well. Like, and through experience, obviously. I mean, obviously he has
All life events.
been there,
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but absolutely what you're saying, Conrad, is completely correct. You can't be picky at the beginning at all, and you never know where. One little side note here. One movie, maybe some people have seen it. There's a movie called The Green Book, which is about uh, a pianist and his limousine driver, and it's a car driver, and it's a classical pianist and a car driver, his driver, chauffeur. Uh, and the pianist is of African American origin, and his driver is a white person from America. You should watch that film because you'll realize how. I mean, I thought it was beautiful, and how at every stage in your career you will face something that you will not uh, perceive, you know, and
True.
how so many jazz and blues musicians have the bands have not performed because the artist was not treated well, and the artist was not treated well for so many reasons. It's crazy. So I don't think that's going anywhere. So putting yourself in these situations, I think you just become a little smarter about everything more than anything else.
Yeah, true.
Great.
We all have gone through that.
Absolutely,
What
absolutely.
was the name of movie
youngsters
you
here,
mentioned?
I'm sure they will as well.
Yeah, Green Book. Green Book.
The Green Book.
Yeah.
Green Book. It's a
Green Book.
beautiful
Okay.
film. Yeah.
Sure, I'll watch it.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Great. So I think we are towards end now. I'll.
I would like.
Ashish.
I
Yeah.
would like to request Vinay to play his favorite riff or song or whatever you call it.
Maybe
Wow.
we'll do the reality check.
What is that? What is that reality check?
That's his single.
It's a song.
That's his.
Okay.
It's unfortunately in sort of like a different tuning. So it'll take me some time to sit and fumble around. So I won't get into that one. It's a strange tuning.
No, but
Or maybe your latest one, Elephant in the Room. You can, if you want.
Yeah, sure. I wish I could sing it. I need Aditi here, but I'll just play you. I'll just play all where the whole thing sort of came from. I've been obsessed with these set of notes. I won't call it a rag because I don't think I follow any rules. I don't think this particular rag doesn't have those, luckily. But it is a rag called Charukeshi, which is an incredibly powerful set of notes, and I've been obsessed with it for quite a while now. And it sounds like this. So while playing around with these notes, I sort of hit upon this little riff, which was somehow I feel like these set of notes have like a very strong element to them because it is, again, has like a very happy side to it and also has a very like introspective side to it. Right? It's got a power to it. And I just sort of, just while exploring, I stumbled on this, and it just sort of like awoke something in me. And as it turns out, at that point, last year, there was a big hue and cry on social media about a very brutal killing of an elephant. And it involved a firecracker of a pregnant elephant. And my wife, Uma, is a wildlife conservationist. So I'm actually always in touch with all these things. And what we realized was that there is such a hue and cry about it, but that nobody's coming to the root cause of what it is. Sure, putting up a post and on a story on Instagram I don't think that's the answer to what we can do about this. So we really strongly wanted to spread some awareness of the song. So and Uma has a way with words. So I showed her this, and I told we sort of both agreed that the mood it creates feels like what that incident could have felt like in a way, or our reflection of that. So she wrote some lyrics, and I thought I needed somebody very powerful to sing it. And so I spoke to my friend Aditi, Ramesh, who sang this tune. And I had a fun time experimenting on the guitar for this tune. I will play all the chorus bit as well because you all might find it interesting. I might not be able to do it very well because, as it happens, I don't play my own songs too often, and I haven't played a gig, so I haven't had the need to learn what I've played. But hopefully, I manage. Okay. That's pretty much what it is on the guitar.
And the piano section right after that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And that's my
amazing song.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Vinay, all your songs, if you have observed, like all songs has got that Indian classical touch. Almost all the compositions has got that touch, which is coming naturally to you. Maybe you have Western thought process, but your interpretation always gets into that
sort
Indian classical feel because
yes.
I think it's grown up in that background.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Basically, he is into his own genre. His personality reflects in it. So he's not, he has his heart into it. I would sum up it like that, because we all change, we all evolve, and then it reflects in our music. It has happened with me, and what I was 10 years before, I'm not. So my personality changes, my music changes. So
that's very beautifully put. Thank you.
Yeah. Vinay, there is one late question by Mr. Julian Thadakil. He was our student. His daughters were our student. He is saying that now there is no record label or company who promotes any independent music, right? We all are on our own, you, me, or whoever it is. So how you promote your music, how you distribute your music, that's what he wants to know. I mean, I know the answer, but since you are a guest.
So I don't think there's any mystery about it at all. There are distribution companies like CD Baby, which I use. There are some Indian ones like OK Listen and all, which basically I don't think distributing your music is the crux of what record labels did. Record labels back in the day, for a very good percentage of the profits, promoted your music, which is something that since they're not there and you've already, so they also paid for the recording, right? So they sort of great bands went to studios for 3 months at a time, worked on it. Wow, I wish I was alive in those days, but anyway, it is what it is, and we're in the age of remote recordings and home studios, and if you know your way around those things, you can make things sound pretty good. So distributing it is not a problem. Promoting, if I crack it really well, I will tell you. And if you crack it, you please tell me, because
I'll share it.
Yes, it's something that is constantly changing, and I'm trying to stay ahead of the game as much as possible. And but yeah, that's literally where I'm at with my with my promotion. Is pretty much there.
We all are our own.
Yes. So.
Yes. So Harsh, you want to continue?
Yes. Thank you so much, Vinay sir, for joining us today. It was
my pleasure. My pleasure.
It was great.
It's an honor to be here.
And very soon, Vinay, I wish so hard that my students see you performing live last year we couldn't celebrate. The last to last year we had Derek sir.
Wow.
And we,
Wow.
all our students jammed with him, and how lucky they were. And
That's incredible.
he
Yes.
just left
Yes.
us this year. And anyway, but I really wish very soon we will call you for our offline on stage.
Yes,
And
that will be lovely.
And you will play and your guitar tone. We just love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'd be thrilled for that to happen soon, whenever it does.
Yeah,
I will look forward to that.
from my heart. I mean,
Thank
this
you.
is how I am. I'm not very formal person, Vinay. I don't come across very formal. I'm very overwhelming all the way, all the time. So thank you so much. This is really, really treasure for us this year.
My pleasure completely.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Ashish. We can conclude.
Yeah. So this was really, really an inspiring session, Vinay. I mean, it was such a motivation to hear everything about you, about your journey, about how you started playing, and like your ups and downs, whatever you mentioned. I mean, I could so much relate everything, because like the same way I've also done my BBA and then business and then family things and all, like everything I also went through. So like it was really like
And
I'm
Ashish,
so yes, ma'am?
remember, everybody notice you, okay? Whether you are in formal or you are in casuals.
जब आपने तो मेरे को हर एक फेज में देखा. So yeah, I mean, that was a really, really nice and inspiring session from you, Vinay. I mean, hopefully we'll have you on board with us for our offline sessions, and soon I'm going to see you around Grace Park as well, maybe next month or something. And
so concluding statement for this whole event was, ups in the life are ups because there are downs.
Oh yeah.
The one. Thank you.
Harsh, I'm so proud of you. I really want to say this. I have seen you transforming from that Nagar rural village boy to this. I really, really respect you and appreciate you. You have done so well today, hosting this event, talking up your heart out. I'm really proud of you, Harsh. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I'm sure Vinay also will agree to that.
Absolutely. Yes. Completely.
I'm just trying to be a better student. Let's see.
So see you soon, and all the best for your future ventures. And everyone, thank you so much for being here and gracing this occasion. And we are gracefully surviving in pandemics. All musicians, hats off to you. Yeah. So thank you so much. Good day, everyone. See you. Bye.
Good day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much joining, Vinay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Over to you, Devi, sir.